All right, let's do this. Gonna quickly try to get through the news at hand so you can get to our main story. I finished finally moving over what I wanted for the stream elements to stream. There are like Ragnish's shirt I want to keep. Necro's Necro shirt. I'm actually thinking of making a kind of like a bulletproof vest. With Necro's Q. Bean. I can start calling them beans. With Necro's bean. We'll move on from right there. Music video news. I am overwhelmed. I gotta get it done. I really do, and I'm not. And I've talked ad nauseum about it. It has been suggested that I use this for storytelling. I'm like, I have told stories on here. I have done, like, basically it's anything that pops into my brain. And so I have told stories about, my past and everything like that. But when you port yourself as a storyteller or a spinner of yarns, this is the only place that I'm streaming right now. And yeah, I could bore people to death with the tedium of making a music video. I might just do that. I'm thinking about titling those streams "How Not to Make an Animated Music Video." We should follow what other people do. We should follow in their footsteps and create our own from there. Yay! That's life lesson. I think it's kind of funny because I did want to do like a how-to type of stream things. And I don't give them enough credit. You know. VTuber Studio and you know, Fuji, Reactive, were my tools when I ended up, you know, deciding to become a VTuber. And I looked into those things because I had my century-old freaking Discord account. There was a time in like the early 2000s when I was hopping on everything. Technology based. This is something that like a lot of people don't realize about me. Yeah. That like specular 3D and stuff like that. When that was a thing to do 3D modeling. I was all in on that. And how to transfer actual drawn art and turn them into 3D. Yeah, I think at the time I was feeling kind of left behind. Practical artists were already, you know, with the advent of technology, we're kind of getting cast out because of digital art. And here's the thing about being a practical artist. AI can't replicate it. AI has to use digital art. It does. They are getting AI to do the reverse of what I've done, which is go from digital back to practical, but it's still very digital. And I think that there's a lot of things that have gotten lost. I think of it like the Google Translate. Have you ever seen anybody like they translate things into a lot of different languages, and then they translate it back into English, and what it comes out? That is what will always be to connect to is basically my thing. There's no connection. Somebody said when I was doing this whole transfer and moving the art to different items in the merch store, they talked about how they can see my love in the art, and I am it darn near brought me to tears. All right, it did bring me to tears. But darn near brought me to tears. The fact that, like, because I want to say, like, this is what I'm about. This is what it's all about. Is that not only can I create things that people hopefully like, but there's me in it. There's my feelings towards the subject matter I come across, and I hope people actually can see that. That there's a huge amount of passion that goes into creating anything that I've created, especially the documentaries. I am very passionate about those things, about all of them. Who I'm doing the documentary of, down to what I'm using and learning and discovering. There is a complete, and it still amazes me that it happens, but there is a complete transfer to what I've created, and I hope that my love, my passion, basically the whole world is encompassed in the one singular art piece. And I mean, everybody talks about how they're going to buy it. Like, buying it is not buying it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good because people now own my art. That's one of the reasons why I love t-shirts, because then people now wear my art, and it is a complete there's so much different than with somebody wearing a Cubine t-shirt than somebody wearing something that I worked on, and my art was taken from that and put into a t-shirt or put into some type of merchandise. And I used to see it all the time, and I used to like recognize it, and I used to kind of like this is the asshole in me. I used to go up to people that I'd see, especially like at Comic-Con, because I used to go to Comic-Con a lot. I used to go up to people wearing merchandise that I created, and they had no idea. And I used to joke about it. I used to talk about, like, going, oh my God, the artist of this is just an incredible thing. And they were just talking about, like, how it's a mass-produced thing, and it's a common thing. This was used in blah 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 blah. And I'm like going, yeah, I know that. But I always let them talk about things, and sometimes they get it completely and totally wrong. And I think that I revel in the fact that, like, the history of the artwork that they have, or they got the wrong artist name. I haven't yet, with any of those pieces, had somebody come back and say my name as that. The only time, well, not the only time, but there's been a few times because of industry. But one of the times happened was when I was mentioned. See, I always pretend like, Duke University had this entire art course on me. It did not have an entire art course on me. I was mentioned in a course very briefly, and I had to actually wait until that course was given again, because they were just like, the person was just absolutely, like, stunned with, and the way they presented it to me was like, there's an artist with your name that the teacher mentioned, and not favorably, and especially because they mentioned that I passed away. And not favorably, and I had to actually audit the course. So I went there and audited the course just to hear them talk about me. I'm such a fucking narcissist. And they did, and they got everything wrong. Just, like, I laugh at that, and it's what makes it even, more crazy when you think about it. That's the time when they're actually saying my real name in association to my work. And the Cubine art right now, it's not my actual name. It's my preferred name, but it's not my actual name. I mean, I think people realize, like, I was not born QB. I would put, speaking about QB, I didn't have the Bean moniker. It's just CUE. I would put my initials as CUE. That I've done. I still do that. I still do that today. And people don't even realize, like, if they realize it's a C and a U and an E in cursive, they might just think of it as like a pencil error or something like that, if they even see it. But I don't even know if they can tell that it is what it's supposed to be. It looks like I made an error in one of my lines. But I don't even think they realize, because once they realize, by my real name, So that was one of the few times that like actually somebody mentions me there. The reports of my death were greatly exaggerated. I don't do art anymore, especially art like that. There were some things that they said were very flattering, but for the most part, they talked about my excess and my almost corrupted state of mind, and how I would subtly change things. And I always laugh at that because when somebody does something unique, when somebody adds their own their own spin onto work, there's something wrong with it. There's something wrong with that person, especially because being touted as a freaking person that can replicate almost identical several different artists. I probably would have made a killing replicating all the Renaissance artists' work. Probably would have been producing either new work or basically forging their old work. I probably could have at the time, and the only reason that I was able to even have that level of mimicry is because I saw how they did things. I had to learn the techniques, and mentors had come and go with me, and people were showing me these things, and I wasn't always I have a huge comic book collection, but I wasn't always like just a comic book artist. People like Jack Kirby and Ditko and George Perez and all those fantastic artists. My level of mimicry was on par with them. Not that I would never have touted myself as a great artist like that, but I could keep up with that, and if I could, I would. But one of the things that the professor at Duke was using me as is the fact that how I could not keep up with that. And the only thing that I had to mention, I even raised my hand. I was like, well, could it have been deliberate? And the professor, nobody would do something that stupid. And deliberately put their own take in something, malform a perspective for what? Nobody would do that on purpose. They would do that because, they are still learning and grasping at the thing. And I was like, that's not how I did it. I did it on purpose. It would be like counterfeiting a dollar bill. I would counterfeit a dollar bill if I. I'm not saying I ever counterfeited a dollar bill or any U.S. monetary money. I never counterfeited any U.S. monetary money. I have hand drawn things like that. But if I were to make plates that printed money, if I were to make that, I would change things about it so that I would know. I would, I can almost instantly spot, my work. And it's happened. I've had people, copy my work and use my work at the same time. For what end? I draw fan art for people to use however they want to see fit. It's not really for huge monetary gains. I mean, I would love to. If you were making money hand over fist, I would love to see some of that money come back to me. But most YouTubers are not making enough money to really worry about what they're doing. But I can spot my work automatically, and I think that's what the professor at Duke was trying to say, is that all you have to do is know the artist and you can spot the differences. And the thing is that the things that I did deliberate, those are the ones that he caught. He definitely did not catch a lot of this stuff. Like I said, my level of mimicry is... It used to be. I shouldn't say it is anymore. There is a practice, and you have to always constantly be doing it. You have to always constantly, be getting more and more and more work that you could it's more practical, practical effects, but it's more of a learned behavior than a talent. Anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. They have to realize their limitations of their abilities, and then at all times push those limits. Craziness. The reason I mentioned earlier that about the programs and stuff like that, like I use a GIF program, and I can't even think of the creator's name, and all that program does is puts GIFs and runs them in sequential order. You know, takes pictures and runs them in sequential order. It's really well done. And I don't even know who created it. GIF Maker is the name of it. And you know, that has been kind of my backbone right now for making the music video. There are limitations. There are a lot of limitations. I'm going to find out what all those limitations are. My merge page is very different than just a merger of the original Stream Elements page and this one. Like I said, I think I'm going to be bringing back a few items, especially ones that have actually sold. As kind of the example. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to be heading with this. I might make my own Cubing comic book. And it'd be a webcomic. So we might go that way. I probably should just get to work. As always, cool beans in the comments below. That would be great. If you have any questions, anything you want to ask, if you want me to talk about anything, I will talk about any subject matter. No, nothing is off limits. I will talk about anything. I will give you my opinion about it. I will let everybody know right away that whatever you ask, it is my opinion. It doesn't reflect you. It's not, you know, just because we disagree on things does not mean that I like you any less or any more or whatever. It's just, this is how my opinion is, and if you want to have a discussion about it, we can definitely do that. I would encourage that. Thank you for watching. I always want to say thank you, and I don't think I say it enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. And if you're going to watch another video, I have plenty of my videos, but any other video is fine. I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing after this, it is a fantastic time and you are enjoying it. 2025 might be how-tos or how-to-nots. And I think that would be fun to do if I think that up and I put that into practice, and then I can actually do other work, like how to not make a Dakimakura, how to not build a community, how to not stream. I do it all, my own way. This is that's more what I encourage than anything else. I don't want people to be like me. I want you to be like you, and I want to celebrate that. All right? So, take care.